Imagine being a successful black woman, self-made, fearless, respected around the globe, yet treated like garbage in front of an entire flight just because of your skin color. They removed her from her VIP seat without a second thought to please. A wealthy white passenger. But what happened just 5 minutes later? No one on that plane could have seen it coming. The CEO's next move didn't just shake the airline, brought the entire crew to their knees, and left the world watching. Stick around till the end, because what she did will leave your jaw on the floor. And if you're someone who believes in justice, power, and standing up for what's right, don't forget to hit that subscribe button right now. This is a story you don't want to miss. It was a clear afternoon at Heathrow Airport when Veronica Miles, the 42-year-old billionaire CEO of Airline, it's one of the fastest-growing AI companies in the world, stepped into the first-class lounge. Clad in a tailored navy suit with platinum cufflinks and Louboutin heels, she was the epitome of modern elegance. But more than that, she radiated authorities, the kind that came from building an empire from scratch. She had just finished keynotes in London and was heading to New York for a Fortune 500 board meeting. First-class seat 1A on Flight CL203. A ticket bought directly by the American ambassador himself as a courtesy for her efforts in global digital reform. She had barely settled into her window seat, sipping Perrier and reviewing her final slides, when a tall, balding white man in a golf vest and loafers stomped down the aisle with a disgruntled flight attendant trailing behind. The man, Edward Langston, was heir to a shipping dynasty and known in tabloids for his brash entitlement. "There's been a mix-up," he sneered loudly, glancing at Veronica. "This is my seat. I don't do second row." The attendant, clearly nervous, turned to Veronica. "Ma'am, I'm so sorry. We may need to reseat you just for takeoff." Veronica looked up, calm but cold. "This is seat 1A. It has my name on it. Check the manifest." The stewardess fumbled with her tablet, and that's when the purser joined in, middle-aged, tight bun, and eyes that scanned Veronica as though she were invisible. "Ma'am, we've made our decision. Please comply or you'll need to disembark." Gasps erupted from surrounding passengers. A black woman in coach whispered, "Ain't no way they just did that." With dignity, Veronica stood up, adjusted her blazer, and collected her laptop. She was escorted back to the last seat in business class, near the lavatory, just as Edward slumped smugly into 1A and ordered champagne before takeoff. 5 minutes ticked by. Then Veronica opened her phone and typed 2 words into her secure business app: "Activate code." The cabin crew had no idea that her assistant, waiting in JFK, had just uploaded a 4K video from a discreet smartwatch Veronica wore on her wrist, the one that had captured every word, every insult, and every face on board. The footage streamed directly to her 1.2 million Instagram followers and her professional network on LinkedIn. Captioned, "When money doesn't matter, only your skin does." Within minutes, it went viral. By the time the plane reached cruising altitude, news outlets in both the UK and US had picked it up. In-flight Wi-Fi buzzed with whispers as first-class passengers scrolled through Twitter, slowly realizing they were sitting inside a global PR disaster. The captain was summoned mid-flight. Crew huddled near the cockpit. One tried to speak to Veronica, but she calmly raised a hand. "Speak to my legal team. You'll hear from them in New York." She smiled politely and put her headphones in. Meanwhile, on the ground, her assistant had already contacted the board of the airline, along with sponsors, brand partners, and civil rights attorneys. Chapter 2 began when the plane landed. Port authorities surrounded the aircraft. A representative from the airline's executive office stood on the jet bridge, pale-faced, visibly sweating. "Miss Miles," he stammered, "on behalf of Skyhawk Airways, I deeply apologize." "Stop," she said, stepping off the plane. Cameras flashed from every direction. "Your apology comes after the views, after the headlines, after the money." not because it was the right thing to do. A nearby news crew from CNN recorded it live. The headline, "Black CEO Removed for." White Air had become the #1 trending topic across the US and UK within hours. But the real earthquake came when Veronica canceled Orion Tech's $280 million data partnership with Skyhawk, citing racial discrimination. She went further. Her legal team filed a class action suit and rallied other Black professionals who'd faced airline bias. Within days, more passengers came forward. The domino effect was vicious. Stock prices for Skyhawk plummeted 38%. In 1 week, their CEO was forced to resign. But that wasn't enough. In Chapter 3, Veronica flew back to London, this time via a private jet sponsored by another airline eager to win her favor. She was met by Parliament members and human rights leaders. She didn't just speak at a press conference, she announced a full equity audit across the aviation industry, demanding transparency on how airlines treated passengers based on race, class, and gender. United Airlines, British Airways, and Delta all responded with policy changes within 48 hours. Skyhawk scrambled to catch up. Their remaining crew on Flight ZL203S, that same crew that had forced her out of her seat, was publicly suspended. Internal emails leaked showing the purser had deliberately prioritized Edward's name due to VIP lineage despite knowing Veronica's credentials. That crew was terminated on live television during a special announcement by Skyhawk's interim CEO. Veronica didn't flinch. But her voice shook when she stood on the United Nations human rights stage a week later, saying, "This wasn't about a seat. It was about erasure, about telling people like me that our success still isn't enough. But now, it's enough." In Chapter 4, Edward Langston issued a public apology, but it was too late. He lost board seats, brand deals, and his company stock took a nosedive. Veronica, however, became the face of a new movement, one where Black women didn't just get justice. They restructured the system. She launched Sky Equity, a watchdog group that audited corporations for racial injustice and helped pass legislation that held airlines accountable for in-air discrimination. Schools studied her speech. Activists praised her poise. And yet, she never bragged. When asked by a reporter, "How did you stay so calm?" she smiled and replied, "Because I knew who I was, and I knew they had no idea who they were messing with." She never took another commercial flight again. But every time someone saw her jet with the golden Orion Tech logo take off, they remembered one thing: you can't bury power in silence, and you can't push Black excellence to the back of the plane. So if you believe in strength, standing tall when it matters most, and changing the game instead of just playing it, hit that subscribe button and share this story. Because Veronica Miles didn't just win, she made the world pay attention. And that's a legacy no airline could ever cede over.